But we have gotten a ton of injury news as it concerns the Ravens over the last half hour or so. So I want to make sure that these futures markets are remaining static at BetMGM as it concerns the Ravens. So Baltimore remains right now at BetMGM. Make it legendary. The second choice to win the AFC. They are a minus 200 favorite to win the AFC North, despite being 2 games behind the Steelers, which I think is fair if you're not considering all the injuries. Minus 400 to make the playoffs. The win total remains 10.5 right now for Baltimore. And we'll talk about their game against Houston this weekend in a little bit. So the Ravens are still favored to make the postseason, right? And the injury situation is not great for Baltimore. We just found out literally in the last hour or so, Nnamdi Madubuike, season-ending injured reserve with his neck injury. A terrible blow for this Ravens defense. Kyle Van Noy remains out right now with this hamstring injury. We'll see about his status for Sunday. We got Ardarius Washington out for the season. Broderick Washington on injured reserve. How many Washingtons are there? Roquan Smith is going to miss multiple weeks. Marlon Humphrey is going to miss multiple weeks. I haven't seen an injury update on Nate Wiggins. He left the game yesterday also. So for Baltimore, yes, I liked Kansas City in the game, and I think the Ravens are January choke artists. They are January jokers. Sultans of spreadsheets, dominators of DVOA, excellence of EPA, January jokers. This goes way beyond just me saying, I told you so, as far as a Sunday in September goes. This is now way beyond that, with all the injuries for the Ravens, and how bad this defense has looked with most of those players I just gave you in the lineup. And how a bunch of them are going to be out for multiple games now. So this is, again, way beyond the Ravens are going to be there at the end and they're going to lose to the Kansas City Chiefs or lose to the Buffalo Bills. And I'm not insinuating the Ravens are going to miss the postseason. Baltimore, in what has been an extremely, let's be fair, extremely unlucky season for the Ravens to date. Extremely unlucky. They are very lucky in that their bye week is in a couple of weeks. Week 7. So 2 more games before the bye for Baltimore. Houston this weekend and the Rams in 2 weeks. If I'm the Ravens, you want to win one of these two. Obviously, you want to win both, and you want to get back to 500. They got to win one of these next 2 games. 2 and 4 into the bye. Get everybody healthy as you can, and you can make your run in a bad division with everything still in front of you. Now, you could say 1 and 3. Look at who they've lost to. Buffalo, Detroit, Kansas City. Okay, that's fair. 3 of the best teams in the league. I still think the Ravens are going to go to the playoffs, but guess who you're playing in the playoffs? Teams like Detroit and Buffalo and Kansas City. You're playing the best teams when you get to January. They just got to survive this next little bit. You need to survive the next couple weeks if you're the Baltimore Ravens. And they will survive the next couple weeks and win at least one of these 2 games. But you absolutely have to have Lamar Jackson healthy. And he left yesterday's game against the Chiefs with the hamstring injury. And John Harbaugh literally spoke to the media 40 minutes ago, which is all developing right now. And this Ravens-Texans point spread, the moves throughout the last, let's call it 12 hours, have been crazy if you've been following them. And of course we have, because this is what we do and this is what we love, right? So John Harbaugh says there's no way Lamar could have gone back into the game, even if the game were close with the hamstring injury. Felt like a pull in his hamstring. The Ravens this morning were 9.5-point favorites against the Texans this week. Then it was 6.5. Now it's 3.5. And Femi tells me in our chat that there are even some Ravens -3s on the board. And if Lamar gets ruled out, we are less than 3 for sure if Cooper Rush is the quarterback and we have all these injuries on defense. Not a great position to be in. Not a great position to be in. And when the defense is healthy, it's not good. And the problem with that cascades into the offense. Because it's like, what's the point of Derrick Henry if you're down in games and you can't even use him? Who was playing for Baltimore yesterday when they were in catch-up mode? Justice Hill's playing. Justice demands retribution. You can't play Derrick Henry when you're down multiple scores. First off, he's putting the ball on the ground every game practically, and he can't play when you're throwing the ball constantly. He's a weapon when you're ahead. You think the Ravens are going to be ahead with the state of their defense, especially if Lamar Jackson's not playing? I think they're going to be fine. You got to get Lamar healthy. Lamar's got to play in these games because you run the risk here big time where if Lamar's got to miss time, they could easily lose these next two games. If Cooper rushes the quarterback, they could easily lose. So still a lot to be figured out. 1-1 in the next two. Get everybody back and healthy. Get Roquan back. Get Marlon Humphrey back. Lamar to 100%. And I'll feel good about the Baltimore Ravens making a run, probably honestly still winning the AFC North, at the very least claiming a wild card spot in the AFC. And then when they get there, of course, they'll lose. And they may not even see the final boss, the Kansas City Chiefs. They can't even get past the Buffalo Bills. So I still don't like this team, even if they get to January. And if Lamar's going to be out the next couple weeks, and we have no idea if that's going to be the case yet, they may not even make it to January. So a critical 72 hours or so coming up for the Ravens and for us as sports bettors to find out about Lamar Jackson's hamstring injury and the severity of it. Last note on the Ravens, and then we'll talk about Sunday Night Football. To everyone out there, and you know who you are, who told me that I was nuts over the last couple years when I said that the Ravens need to move on from John Harbaugh. That this iteration of the Ravens would never win with Harbaugh and Lamar. And it doesn't mean that John Harbaugh is a bad coach. He's a great coach. But that the expiration date has long since been reached and we're all drinking sour milk. You all said I was nuts. How do you like me now? Would you rather have, let me ask you all a question. Pigs, I love you guys. Who would you rather have as Ravens head coach right now? Answer, be honest. Tell the truth.